of political developments, I shall only say that definite progress has been made in several respects towards the status which the people desire. With the utmost goodwill towards other nations, the Irish people are as determined as ever to work for the unity and independence of their country. They believe that in the attainment of that goal lies their own welfare and the establishment of permanently friendly relations with their neighbors. I must now conclude. I am very glad to have had the opportunity of addressing you, and I wish you individually and your country every blessing and happiness. Slán agad Villiers.
Is made in Dublin. To mark the inauguration of the new constitution throughout Éire, formerly the Irish Free State, Dr. Byrne, Archbishop of Dublin, enters the pro-cathedral for the votive mass, and escorted by cavalry, the new Taoiseach, Mr. de Valera, arrives by car. From every building waves the tricolour, and after the cathedral service, Mr. de Valera drives to the government buildings, where he poses with Chief Justice Sullivan and Mr. Fahy, chairman of the Dáil. The Constitution is in force.
The ideal Ireland that we would have, the Ireland that we dreamed of, would be the home of a people who valued material wealth only as a basis for right living, of a people who, satisfied with frugal comfort, devoted their leisure to the things of the spirit. A land whose countryside would be bright with cozy homesteads, whose fields and villages would be joyous with the sounds of industry, with the romping of sturdy children, the contests of athletic youths, and the laughter of happy maidens, whose firesides would be forms for the wisdom of serene old age. The home, in short, of a people living the life that God desires that men should live. With the tidings that make such an Ireland possible, St. Patrick came to our ancestors 1,500 years ago, promising happiness here no less than happiness hereafter. It was the pursuit of such an Ireland that later made our country worthy to be called the Island of Saints and Scholars. It was the idea of such an Ireland, happy, vigorous, spiritual, that fired the imagination of our poets, that made successive generations of patriotic men give their lives to win religious and political liberty, and that will urge men in our own and future generations to die, if need be, so that these liberties may be preserved. 100 years ago, the young Irelanders, by holding up the vision of such an Ireland before the people, inspired them and moved them spiritually as our people had hardly been moved since the golden age of Irish civilization. 50 years later, the founders of the Gaelic League similarly inspired and moved the people of their day. So later did the leaders of the Irish Volunteers. We of this time, if we have the will and the active enthusiasm, have the opportunity to inspire and move our generation in like manner. We can do so by keeping this thought of a noble future for our country constantly before our minds, ever seeking in action to bring that future into being, and ever remembering that it is for our nation as a whole that future must be sought.
So cold, tired and hungry, young Henry made his vows. From your proud mothers I stole you, and I won't desert you now. We're sons of the Republic, not planters but free men, and it's never going to be the same again. Our country's called Ireland, it's the garden of the earth, and I dreamed of the future where our people know their worth, and our laws are written by reason of life. prophets, kings, or priests. You can have the spice if you come with me.